open up his lapel, feed. So what I find is when I just grab the lapel this way, if he makes any connection down here, literally just yanks, pretty much comes out of my hand. If I turn it inside out and put the inside ridge up against my thumb, my fingers then have something to actually grip. And now if he tries to pull it out of my hands, it's not that it's impossible, but it's very different. Now also when I make my grip, so when I open, don't reach for the lapel. I put my hand in, I lift his head, and I literally pull the lapel into my hand. So that by the time I'm here, just flexing my wrist, Mike's already feeling a choke. If I'm down here, super loose. Open, feed. Now through here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open his arm out to the side. My right leg is gonna come off his hip, and I'm literally gonna pull Mike to that side and throw my right leg up on top of his shoulder. This also still gives me connection to his arm. So as soon as I let go of his lapel, now I can come through and go into an arm bar and come back, and in, open, feed. As I release through here, I'm going to pull to my side, open his arm through here. I can chop the back of his head, but I'm going to pull him to my right, open, and let him fall into my grip. And then switch into our own bar. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I'm going to take one. So the Statue of Liberty variation, because traditional bow and arrow, we go down, we grab the pants, things of that nature.
You're good.
I've always liked Statue of Liberty variation after the arm, just mainly because of, again, when you look at a bunch of my decision-making process, it's about multi-tools that are going in there. So when we're playing like t-shirt variations and the like, and he's wearing shorts, no pants, gripping onto the pants becomes a little bit more difficult, but the choke didn't go away simply because we have a t-shirt on. Actually, the t-shirt makes things like bow and arrows actually more powerful, because t-shirts choke like a motherfucker. I mean, they are tight, you know, and everybody's like, oh, t-shirts will rip. They hardly ever do. Okay? All I need them to do is get me one good choke, and I'm set. And I mean, I've got one shirt that's been through, I think, 5 sessions. It's still good. But when I'm here and I feed, like I said, first thing I'm doing is I'm pulling him with the lapel to go down. And as that happens, I'm going to separate his arm from the rest of his body. I'm going to take a little pressure off so he's not choking. Then the pivot has to start to happen. So at this point in time, this foot comes off, but this foot also starts to make a journey. Okay? This is changing my angle to his body. Okay? Now, the part we always have to watch out for, and it's made easier because of the lapel through here, but generally speaking, in this instance, even if I want the arm bar, let him drop. Let him go to the ground, rather than being here and thinking that I'm going to fall and make it over his head. I'm literally pulling him into the defense. And so ultimately speaking now, my leg is trying to hit a moving target. The moving target is going the direction that's better for him in his defensive postures and the like. So when we make the pivot and I come in through here, soon as this one releases, I'm pulling to separate, and then I'm almost like throwing my body towards his upper body, and then we make our pivot. This lays him down towards the floor. I'm still sitting up. So now when I lay back, I've got a very tight choke. Okay. Now the other part that we can do, obviously we have the arm bar sitting through here, but if I come in, I make my pivot, I get up on top. I personally like crossing my ankles through here, kind of like I'm holding guard, because now through here, as we're going in, I'm not the most limber. I can reach in, grab my own ankle. We can put our foot onto the hip. Now, if I step and scoot, if you've got long legs, you can skip a lot of these processes. My short little stubbies. Okay. So now through here, push, scoot. Now I just tightened up the triangle. Now we can lock it in place. I'm a firm believer in triangles and arm bars being hit simultaneously. So while my choke is going on, I'm going to pull back for the arm bar. Now, the other part that's going to happen is, as the arm gets removed from his head, it's exposing his neck even deeper for the triangle. So whether your intention is to hit the arm bar, okay, it's going to make your triangle tighter because it's pulling the arm out of the way. The other thing you're going to find is anytime we start to put two attacks together, especially arm bar triangle combinations, anytime you have a triangle, you have an arm bar. When you put them together, I'm gonna make this bet. Maybe we'll start putting tallies up on the wall. I guarantee you, arm bar hits first. If you put them both together, that if we start putting tallies up there and you talk to your partner, what'd you tap to? Okay, I'm gonna bet they're gonna say it was the arm bar that they actually got caught in, as opposed to the choke. And when we look at historically, throw somebody in triangle, how long does it take to tap them out sometimes in a triangle? Okay, because again, it's like if we were looking at investments, okay, I have to take a triangle, any choke, I don't care what it is, I have to hit my mark, and then I have to hit it consecutively for, let's say, 5 cycles in a row. And if it drops below even once, I have to reset my cycle. Okay, in an arm bar, I just have to ding the bell once. That's it. Spike it one time, and then that's your tap. And so ultimately speaking, I can throw them in a triangle. I don't even need to hit the triangle completely. I just need to have it as a control point, because then the arm bar's inside. And so ultimately, I could be choking him or not. I could just be controlling it with the triangle. So again, if we're here, set my grip. I'm deliberately not going to go too tight on him so we can talk. As I open, everything is already starting to go in. So right through here, as I extend him, I could go right into my arm bar and the like. So now we grab our own ankle, foot on the hip. As we step, slide. Now I can touch my own knee. That's my litmus test. If my foot touches my knee, you have no excuse. Your triangle's lockable. Okay, if it can't make it, we know we're going to struggle, so we can lock him up. Again, I'm going to go a little loose. Then immediately, I'm going into his arm, and then I'm going to start stretching to take the arm while I choke to go for the arm bar slash triangle at the same time. This time, perform the same tricks as dolphins. You go to SeaWorld and the like, you watch the dolphins, man, it's a bunch of high flying and everything else. Shamu just has to jump out, and everybody goes, woo! So when we're playing turtle, always be leery anytime a cross grip is made on your lapel. Bells, whistles, sirens should be going off. Cross grips tend to lead to bad things in the game. So
I need to be on this side.
as soon as they make a connection of that nature, just know, stuff's about to happen. So the variations I was first taught, I make my grip, and then I start going across Mike's back, and I do all the jumpy, flippy shit all over the place. And ultimately speaking, it's not right or wrong, it just doesn't fit within my canon. Okay? So there's a bunch of different variations where we can play those lapels. But again, it starts with a cross grip. That's the no-no. So right now, the moment that Mike allowed that to happen, nothing good is going to come from this. To fight that. Okay? No cross grip is allowed to exist in this position. Okay? Then this is where a bunch of stuff starts to, I can stand up, throw my foot over his head, roll over and the like. But the bigger the setup, the easier it is to kind of figure out that things are about to happen. So I come in, same thing, I'm just not hooked in. There's that lapel, I shoot in, make my lapel connection. So for me, what I started doing was, my hand was already here, so I'm going to shoot it inside his leg, and I'm going to basically pull him like I'm pulling his head to the ground. Right now I'm on both of my knees. Now when I pull my right knee, I can pull him to the ground through here. So now what I'm doing is this hand is going to help keep this open so that my knee can start to sneak over the top. And then my hand, once it's in, is just going to shoot. All I need is the hook. This knee is over the top of the hip. this hand literally just shoots. And now that whole pressure is happening because I'm diving over the top of it, which I would do if we were in a regular match. I'd be happy just to go here. This would make me feel good. Okay, so part of what I'm doing, which is again, it's a big part of my game, whether I put the gi on or take the gi off, my game doesn't change, it just modifies slightly. So my decision-making process doesn't completely revamp simply because we changed the rules. Okay? I'm using similar pressures in all of the positions, I'm just using them slightly different. So I've got that lapel, I opened up his leg, I was stepping over the top, I shoot, put my hand in, continue my pressure, pull my through, and there's my, what I call Statue of Liberty armbar. Works with t-shirts, works with the gi. Once he's over here, everything we just did is now on the table. The lapel, the armbar, the triangle, whatever it is that you like. And I did it Shamu style. Everybody goes, boom! But I barely jumped out of the water and didn't have to go do flips and all that fun stuff. So again, set him up. My hand goes to the inside of his thigh. I don't just try to pull him. I'm yanking down on the lapel and I'm pry barring. I want his ear to go to the mat over here. So when I pull, okay, now my knee goes over, literally just shoots over the top, pull to choke him, leg goes up and over, then we're into our armbar, triangle, or whichever one of the sequence you liked once we got over the top. And like I said, beauty part is when we do our T-Jitsu stuff is t-shirts are even better when especially for chokes. They suck for control, but for chokeability, t-shirts are amazing.